This lesson is over Venn diagrams and scatter plots. A Venn diagram is an arrangement of overlapping circles used to show how two or more sets of data are related. So in this particular example, Nicholas asked 29 of his classmates what they used when taking notes, a pencil or a pen. The results are shown in both a table and as a Venn diagram. So what this information shows is that 18 students replied pencil, 15 students replied pen, 2 replied neither. Now, if you think about that, that is 35 students. He only asked 29. What that's telling us is that some of these students answered that they use a pencil and they use a pen. So this chart is not a very efficient way of showing this information because it doesn't show how many students answered both. However, a Venn diagram shows that overlap. These are the students who said they use both a pencil and a pen. These use only a pen, and these use only a pencil. Here's your neither. So 12 plus 6, that's 18, 19, 20, 29. So looking at our next two examples, it says PTA sponsored an ice cream sundae party for 96 students. Fudge and caramel sauce were offered. So how many students chose fudge? Well, in this case, we're looking at all the students who chose fudge, not the ones who just said fudge only. So that's going to be found by doing 24 plus 31, which is 55. Fudge but not caramel sauce is just this area, so 24. Caramel sauce is going to be the whole circle. 31 plus 15 is 46. Caramel but not fudge would only be this area. 31 chose both. How many chose neither? Well, I started out with 96. 24 chose fudge. 31 chose both. 15 chose caramel. So if I subtract all those values, I come up with 26, which means 26 chose neither. Notice how I drew it outside of the circles? That's how you represent neither. Sergio asked 40 students whether they buy music on tapes or disc. So how many buy tapes? 7 and 10, so 17. Tapes but not discs is just 7. Discs in all is 22. Discs but not tapes is 12. Both is 10. Again, we asked 40 students, so we're going to take 40, take away 10, 12, and 7, and we find out that there are 11 left over. Excuse me. There are, 11 left over that chose neither. So again, I wrote it outside. On this one, we're talking about Kim volunteered to get pizza. There's 16 players. 10 wanted pepperoni. 11 wanted mushrooms. 7 wanted both. If you add those numbers up, it gives you way more than 16. That should point out to you that these guys wanted pepperoni. Not only pepperoni, but pepperoni in total. So I've got pepperoni and I've got mushrooms. 7 people wanted both. 10 wanted pepperoni. So 10 people should be in this circle. There's already 7 here, which means 3 has to be there. 11 wanted mushrooms. So 11 people should be represented in this area. 7 wanted both, so 4 must have only wanted mushrooms. 7 and 4 is the 11. 7 and 3 is the 10. Now that gives us 14. But there's 16 players, which tells us 2 wanted neither. So pepperoni, but not mushroom, 3. Mushrooms, but not pepperoni, 4. Neither topping, 2. Our next example is very similar. It's talking about 64 scouts, 37 earned first aid. So we're going to have first aid. And then we have life-saving. 12 earned both. So first aid had 37, so there should be 37 in the circle. There's already 12 here, So 25 should be outside. 26 should be in this circle. There's already 12 here. So 14 should be there. 64 total. We've already taken care of 25, 12, and 14. So when I subtract all those values, I get 13 left over. Those are the ones that got neither. First aid but not life-saving. Here's first aid, no life-saving, so that's 25. Life-saving but not first aid, it's 12. At least one badge. Well, at least one badge is everybody that falls in here. So 25, 12, and 14 gives me 51. 51 earned something, 13 earned nothing. Sometimes you'll have more than one circle, and those circles will show multiple overlapping. So this in the middle hits all three circles, so all of those answers are good. This part only hits the red and the blue. This hits the yellow and the blue. This one hits the yellow and the red. So which students prefer to read mystery and romance? Okay, well, Pedro likes mystery, Gracia, and Lizzie. Which students prefer to read historical but not mystery? So we want everything inside this historical circle except for mystery. So that's Beth, Jessica, and Alyssa. What types of book does Tom prefer? Tom is in this circle, so he likes mystery and historical. So that's Venn diagrams. Now we're going to talk about scatter plots. A scatter plot is a type of graph that can be used to show what type of relationship there is between two quantities. So in other words, you're going to have points like 1, 3. And if you plotted all those points on a graph, they would look like this, like all over the place. And then we're going to look at the type of relationship. So this one has a positive relationship because as you move from left to right on the board, that line is going up. It's increasing. And this line is actually called the line of best fit, and it's the one that kind of goes through the majority of the dots. This one, if you can kind of imagine a line going here, again, as you move from left to right, that line goes down. So it's a negative relationship. We can't even draw a line here. This one doesn't make really any sense at all, and that's why it's no relationship. So again, the line that goes kind of through the middle of the data is what's called the line of best fit. The vertical axis in this example equals the winning time, and the horizontal represents the year. So it says predict a winning time for this event at the 2012 Olympics. So the way we're going to kind of predict that is by extending our line. And if you notice, it hits that 2012 Olympics right about, I don't know, 52.5 seconds. So that's what scatter plots are good for, is using current data, kind of coming up with a line that can be used to somewhat predict the future information. On the next one, it's really a good idea to draw pictures on this to determine whether it's a positive, negative, or no correlation. So in this first one, it doesn't matter where you put your labels. If you're starting here, this is 0, 0. If you're starting at a 0 temperature, that means it's very cold. If it's very cold, are you going to sell 0 hot chocolate or a lot of hot chocolate? Most likely a lot. As we move this direction, the temperature is getting hotter, which means your hot chocolate will likely go down. So that is a negative relationship. We've got the price of a calculator and its functions. Functions is what it can do. So if you start right here, this means your price is 0. If your price is 0, your calculator probably can't do a lot, so it would be 0 as well. As you move this way, your price increases, and the more expensive your calculator gets, the more functions it should be able to do. So this one is increasing, so it's a positive relationship. Amount of study time and your grade. And of course, this is in theory. In theory, if you study zero amount of time, your grade is probably going to be very, very low. As you increase your study time, your grade should also increase. So this represents an increasing grade. This represents increasing study time. Notice that again, it is a positive relationship. Eye color and age. First of all, eye color cannot be represented by a number. So this is not a valid type of relationship for a scatter plot. But second of all, does eye color have anything to do with age? No. So this would be no relationship. And notice this says correlation. Correlation is another way to talk about a relationship. I'm okay if you say positive correlation, positive trend, positive relationship. All of those things mean the same thing. All right, please complete the next few pages in your workbook.